Today on Discover Wisconsin, we're heading to the Lake Michigan coast to explore Manitowoc and Two Rivers from ship to shore.
Hello and welcome to Discover Wisconsin.
This is an anthem for those who look for more and never say they've seen it all. Windows down, let's take a ride. The good land's great tonight.
Manitowoc and Two Rivers may have all the characteristics of charming coastal towns, but they offer up an adventurous side too. All you have to do is look a little deeper.
Just 7 miles apart from one another, Manitowoc and Two Rivers are located on Wisconsin's Lake Michigan coast.
Manitowoc and Two Rivers are well known for their pristine and beautiful Lake Michigan coastlines. But to really get a sense of what shaped these communities, you have to start with the rivers. I'm here with Kim, and Kim, pretty much an expert paddler around these parts. This is a beautiful looking river. Tell us why this is such a great place to paddle.
This is the Manitowoc River, and the Manitowoc River extends all the way from Lake Winnebago all the way over to Lake Michigan. So you got a different kind of paddling just about every mile that you try to access the river. You can do some lake paddling, you can do some whitewater paddling, you can do some river paddling, and you can do some marsh paddling if you're a birder. So it's very interesting. No matter where you go on the Manitowoc River, you get something different.
I was lucky enough to get out on the river with the Friends of the Manitowoc River watershed. And it was just a great time out here, you know, paddling up and down, just enjoying a beautiful day, beautiful river, the nice scenery. It's a pretty phenomenal place to kayak.
If you're interested in learning more about the historical impact of the waterways in the area, I suggest starting at the Rogers Street Fishing Village in Two Rivers.
There's original tugboats, original motors and engines, all kinds of things on display in the museum, which is both indoors and out, and you can walk around on these boardwalks. It's right along the East Twin River. It's absolutely beautiful, and you get a great sense of history.
And when it comes to history and industry on the rivers, of course we have to talk about the shipbuilders.
So Jim, Burger Boat Company, first of all, it sounds delicious. But second of all, what's the history of the company here in Manitowoc?
Oh, it's got a warm, long history here. We started in 1863 when Abraham Lincoln was our president, and we were actually in the Civil War at that time. But there was a need for fishing boats and commercial vessels, and a German family came over to the United States and decided that they'd start in the boat building business. So here we are. The community grew up becoming shipbuilders.
Solid expertise in the craft.
Absolutely.
Today, in a state-of-the-art manufacturing complex, Burger Boat Company builds custom yachts.
What they're working on in this bay is called a long-range explorer yacht. It's going to be going all over the world. It takes about 18 months from start to finish.
The fact that we have a river is big time. We build our products, which are today too big to take over land with a trailer. They're just way too large for that, so we launch into the Manitowoc River.
And technically, I always thought this is one of the coolest things. Technically, this is international because you could drop a boat in here and go out into the oceans and anywhere in the world.
Good point that you raise. In fact, most of the boats that we build end up in the international waterways, and we can take the Great Lakes system with our boats, go out up into the St. Lawrence Seaway and get out into the big ocean. So that happens on a regular basis.
Pretty cool, huh?
To start planning your trip to Manitowoc and Two Rivers, head to discoverwisconsin.com.
And don't go away. Coming up, I'm learning about the stories and wonders that lie at the bottom of Lake Michigan. Welcome back to Manitowoc and Two Rivers, right here on Discover Wisconsin.
The water around the Manitowoc and Two Rivers area is absolutely gorgeous from above, but there's plenty to see below the surface too.
I'm excited to talk to you because one thing that I have been so fascinated about here in Wisconsin is just how many shipwrecks there are just off the shores here. Tell me about it.
Well, it's unbelievable. I mean, just from Port Washington up to Two Rivers, this stretch of Lake Michigan, I mean, 40 known shipwrecks and maybe 80 yet to be discovered. So There's the ones we know about, the ones we want to protect, and then there's this wide open chance to go learn more and find new shipwrecks.
And what I think is almost as cool as the fact that they exist is that they're pretty accessible.
Very accessible. I mean, near shore, you can kayak to some of these, and then as you get deeper, they get more intact and more exciting and hold more stories, more artifacts, more complete, and so right up into a couple hundred feet of water and beyond. So if you're a technical diver, this is a place to come. If you're a kayaker or even snorkeling, this is also a great place to visit.
If you really want to explore the shipwrecks up close, scuba diving is probably the best way to do it.
You have a feeling of weightlessness, similar to an astronaut, but you're underwater. It's taking a step back in time, swimming down the hallways that the sailors would have walked down, the passengers of the ships would have been on, seeing the remains, the artifacts, wooden water bowls, pitchers, plates. It's a very unique experience. I enjoy it, you know, and that's part of having a charter business, is to share that with everyone else. Shipwreck Adventures is a small retail facility located here in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. We offer shipwreck diving tours in training from divers from no experience whatsoever to very experienced and accomplished technical divers. In addition to the diving tours, we have retail equipment for snorkelers, scuba divers, and we rent paddle boards, canoes, and kayaks.
Another great place to go for rentals is the Manitowoc Marina.
The Manitowoc Marina offers a number of different rental opportunities. You could rent bikes and walk right along the water, as well as get out on the water on kayaks and stand-up paddle boards. You can have a lot of fun. It's about being on the water.
I decided to head out on the water on a stand-up paddleboard, which I love. It's a nice workout, and it's also a very slow-paced and relaxing way to get a good look at a city like Manitowoc. On one side, you see what seems like the never-ending Lake Michigan, and then the other side, the actual Maritime Museum and the USS Cobia.
There's not a whole lot that people can't learn about at the Wisconsin Maritime Museum. We're standing in our Wisconsin Underwater Treasures Gallery, which kind of gives a human story to the shipwrecks, and then finishes off with the science and how we explore and how we study, and how the maritime archaeologists kind of do their work out in the lake right now. If you're a history buff, you can come on through and you can read the stuff at your own pace. But again, if you're here with your kids and you want to get hands-on and get them inspired, we have these other programs as well. So it's just, there's something for everybody down here, no matter what your interest might be. It all kind of relates to the water.
Head to discoverwisconsin.com to download an itinerary for your trip to Manitowoc and Two Rivers.
And stick around. When we come back, I learn about a classic dessert that was born right here in Two Rivers. We're back exploring Manitowoc and Two Rivers from ship to shore. The waters around Manitowoc and Two Rivers have played a huge role in the area's history, but so has the surrounding land.
Agriculture's impact both on the state of Wisconsin and in this area is pretty significant. I think many people have a story like mine where my ancestors immigrated to this area from Germany and from Ireland and set up farm. As of 2018, Farm Wisconsin Discovery Center is open. It is a hands-on interactive discovery center. From dairy to ginseng, cranberries and carrots, they'll get exposed to all of it and have the opportunity to sit and hang out in our birthing barn where every day we will have baby calves being born, a really exciting part. There are 1,220 farms in Manitowoc County, and we have the beautiful shores of Lake Michigan, which makes this a great place to come and visit. And that's why locating Farm Wisconsin in this part of the state was a really ideal location.
I'm the 4th generation at this location, 6th generation of the Ohm family being in dairy manufacturing. Pine River Dairy is a family-run butter manufacturing business as well as cheese retail store, and we've been around for 75 years. We have almost 300 varieties of cheese. People can come look through the window in the store and see the butter being made. They can get a 25-cent ice cream cone with their kids, come out across the street here and enjoy it. In the sunshine on a nice day like this. It's really important that we use locally sourced ingredients because we want to support other businesses like ourselves. We want to know where our ingredients and where our food came from. We're a great destination because we have just about everything that is important to Wisconsin. We have the butter, we have the cheese, we have ice cream. Really a one and done. They can come here and get everything that's great from Wisconsin.
Two Rivers has also played a role in one of the sweetest parts of our country's history. It's the birthplace of the ice cream sundae. And today, a staffed replica of Ed Berner's ice cream parlor, where the dessert was first served, is located inside the historic Washington House in Two Rivers.
So back in 1881, right?
Yes.
What happened?
A man came in and he asked for some ice cream, and he spotted some chocolate, and he said, "I'd like a little of that on," and Ed said, "You won't like that. It's going to spoil the flavor." He liked it so well, he had a second one, and it was sundae. They decided that's what they would call it, and they'd always sell it for 5 cents.
I had the privilege of actually getting behind the counter and learning from the experts in Two Rivers how to make the perfect ice cream sundae.
And now a little whipped cream. He likes whipped cream.
I do like whipped cream. I didn't leave a lot of room for nuts, did I?
No.
All right, so I'm a little heavy on the hot fudge and the whipped cream, but really, in my mind, now it's the perfect ice cream sundae.
Yep, yes, perfect.
Sorry about your floor.
To celebrate the ice cream sundae, Two Rivers also puts on an event once a year called Sundae Thursday. There are tons of activities and games for the kids. There's ice cream eating contests, which, be warned, will cause your brain and teeth to freeze. And of course, there are plenty of ice cream sundaes to enjoy. Back at the historic Washington House, you can also check out a museum full of Two Rivers history.
So this is the upstairs.
This is our ballroom here at the Washington House in Two Rivers. We have murals that were painted in 1906. We had an itinerant artist staying here who did this work, but he never signed them. Back off the stage are the rooms that were for rent from 1850 to 1970. There's the doctor's office, dentist office, barber shop, and a room that will show you what it looked like in 1853 to stay here.
Nice. So this place has basically accommodated changing history through the times, hasn't it?
There's a lot has happened here at this building.
History and fantastic food also come together at Manitowoc's Pinecrest Historical Village at an event called Pinecrest Plates.
Everything that's here today is all within a 100-mile radius.
So when people come to an event here like at Pinecrest Plates, what kind of experience do you want them to have?
We want people to come away tonight looking at their community in a different light. Not only are we highlighting local food producers tonight, but there's local food producers around every corner in your community if you know where to look.
Check out behind-the-scenes photos of our cruise time in Manitowoc and Two Rivers at discoverwisconsin.com and share your own photos with us on Instagram by using the hashtag DiscoverWisconsin.
And don't go away. Up next, I'm exploring the pristine beauty of the Lake Michigan coastline, right here in Manitowoc and Two Rivers. We're back in Manitowoc and Two Rivers, here on Discover Wisconsin.
The coastline of Manitowoc and Two Rivers, I think, is the best part of this entire area. People don't think about beaches in Wisconsin, but you're gonna find some of the best beaches right here in this area of the state.
There's also some amazing parks set on the shores of Lake Michigan, like Silver Creek Park in Manitowoc, which is home to one of the top-rated disc golf courses in the state. I think one of the best ways to see the coast is on the Mariners Trail. It's a 5.5-mile bike trail from Manitowoc to Two Rivers that offers up beautiful views of the lake.
Heading north on the trail, you absolutely need to stop at West of the Lake Gardens.
If you can imagine a 1950s era formal garden, I think that would sum it up. This was the home of John and Ruth West. Mr. West was the chief executive officer one time of the Manitowoc Shipbuilding Company, and while John was busy with the company, Ruth became a self-taught horticulturist, and West of the Lake was born. When you come to visit West of the Lake, it's pretty much a self-guided tour. We don't try to be a botanical garden by any means. You will not see any names on our plants and things simply because we try to retain the flavor of Ruth's backyard garden. It's a step back in time, I'd like to think. It's a type of formality that you don't see much of anymore. But we want to try to make our guests feel special, and I think that's what Ruth would have did back in the old days. I remember as a kid growing up here in Manitowoc that if you were going to West of the Lake Gardens, you were somebody. It's just beauty. It's absolute beauty. We're on the lake shore, right on the shore of Lake Michigan. Today you're catching it. I couldn't imagine a nicer summer day. The colors are all vibrant. The lawns are green and lush. Where else would you want to be?
For even more serenity and relaxation and take in more wildlife, I would recommend a place called Woodland Dunes Nature Center and Preserve. It's right along the lakeshore. I got to do a little bird watching while I was at Woodland Dunes, and this was a treat for me. I can't say I know that much about birding, but the folks there did a really good job of teaching me to really use your ears and listen to what sounds you're hearing out there in nature. I found it really fascinating. Woodland Dunes is a pretty rare spot, pretty special.
Yes, it is. There are very few places like this left on the shore of the Great Lakes. We're composed of an intricate system of wetlands and uplands, and really provides homes for a huge variety of wildlife, including birds.
So do you know how many species of birds there are here?
At any given time, probably 100 or so species of birds. We've recorded more than 260 altogether.
Now what are we hearing right now, do you know?
A cardinal is singing right behind us. Yeah. It's one of the few places where you can explore. It's a wilderness that's nestled between two cities, and very accessible, and just a great place to find new things.
I agree. Nothing beats just being out in true nature, and it kind of feels good when you find something you didn't know was there. It makes the adventure, I think, that much more fun and worth it.
Exactly.
Of course, you can experience Manitowoc and Two Rivers without going to the beach. And if you're gonna head to the beach, I would recommend making your way there during Labor Day weekend. This is when Kites Over Lake Michigan is held. Now, I know there are a lot of kite festivals throughout Wisconsin, but this is one of the biggest in the Midwest, right?
Yes, it is. We have about 40,000 people who come from all over the country, actually. A lot of regional folks who make the drive up or flew in and enjoy both days of kite flying and fun activities at the beach here. You're not just looking at little kites. When you think of kites, it's like, oh, the little diamonds and the little deltas. You're looking at big, giant kites with a lot of line laundry. Think about the Macy's Thanksgiving parade with the inflatable animals and creatures. That's what you're going to see at a kite festival like this.
Really? Wow.
And not only are you going to see single line show kites, that's what we call them, you're going to see people doing precision stunt team flying using 2-line kites or 4-line kites. And they move with the music and synchronize their movements. And just imagine that you're watching the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels tethered to a line. And that's exactly what these guys are doing. We call it kite ballet.
Kite ballet, I like that. I actually don't even remember the last time I've flown a kite. That's how long it's been. I think a lot of people, for some reason, associate flying kites with, being a kid. There's that nostalgia.
Yes.
But now that I'm learning, there's a lot more to it, and there's some really kind of complex kites and really gorgeous kites. What would you say is the one thing I need to know about flying a kite?
All you need is a good kite and wind, and that's it. That's all you need.
From the rivers to this gorgeous coastline, visitors to the Manitowoc and Two Rivers area can experience some of Wisconsin's best and most incredible natural wonders.
On behalf of the entire DW crew, I'm Mariah Haberman. I'll see you next week.
Wisconsin is full of unique destinations, festivals, and fun.
It's a place you always feel welcome.
So come visit and start creating your story.
You'll discover 12 months of amazing.
Get it out there.
Give it up.
Discover Wisconsin is the state's leading media brand. Continue the adventure at discoverwisconsin.com and stream episodes on YouTube and Roku TV.